Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time watching. So today we're back in Ciudad Enamorada and we're going to be building a couple of kind of like townhouses. Now you will see that the general shape of the buildings are already done. I've been doing this recently with speed builds where I'll have the general idea of a shape already mapped out on the lot before I start recording. And that is just because a lot of the time I will have an idea in my head of what I want, but I don't really know how to translate that over into actually a functional and like workable Sims build. So a lot of the time I will sit down and I'll kind of like map out the general layout of a build before I hit record, just to save time and like editing time as well. Both recording and editing time, because yeah, if I were to sit here and like plan out or like figure out the whole thing on camera, the video would either be way longer, or it would take me way longer to edit out all of that unnecessary footage. So yeah, we're starting off with kind of like 3 buildings. Technically there's 3 entrances, and I did that for a reason. I actually saw a picture over on Twitter, and I believe it was to a stop motion build on YouTube, which if I can find it again, I think I bookmarked it. But if I did, I will try and find it and leave it linked in the description. But basically I saw someone creating 3 of these like townhouses type in a very similar style to this, because the style obviously fits very well with the surrounding world. But they created these like 3 townhouses, and they're different from mine. They're kind of like the scale of them is different, and theirs are all like residential places and things like that. I think they're also a little bit smaller. But basically the idea was having these like 3 buildings on this one lot and having it kind of be like a, yeah, kind of like almost like a complex, like a apartment complex type thing, or like a townhouse complex type thing. So yeah, I kind of took inspiration from that, and I kind of like, you know, cobbled together my own version of it. But yeah, like I said, I will try and find the link again and put it in the description, because it was really cool and the build is absolutely amazing. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check it out. I cannot remember the name of the creator off the top of my head, unfortunately, because it was a while ago. It was a couple of weeks ago at this point. But yeah, like I said, I will try and find the link and make sure to leave it linked in the description. But yeah, so we're currently building the outside, or working on the outside. And I wanted the outside to kind of be multifunctional. So there is a little bit of a driveway that leads up to the 2 garages. There's also a little backyard space, like a communal backyard space, where I'll be putting a couple of planter boxes, as well as a swing set and one of those like picnic blankets as well. And yeah, it's just some open space for the Sims that live here to enjoy together. And then on the right side of the lot, there's that orange, you know, brick patio area. That is going to be a lot of like outside dining, so like tables and stuff. And I did that because one of the buildings, the one on the way on the right hand side, the one that's kind of just 1 story and then it has the roof space upstairs, that one is actually going to be furnished as a cafe. So the other 2 buildings are both going to be apartments. They're going to be for 2 separate families. And I decided that I wanted to use this for my save file. So I've already created the families. One of them you might actually recognize when I talk about them, but I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so those are going to be for 2 separate families, and then the little cafe is supposed to be, you know, it's supposed to be a cafe. I mean, if your Sims live here, they can actually still hire a barista to come and, you know, tend the cafe counter, all of that stuff. But you could also, if you don't want this to function as a residential rental, you could also place this down in a world and then just change the lot type to being like a cafe. And then the cafe will obviously be the main like gameplay feature of the lot, and Sims will come there and, you know, they'll come to the lot, they'll enjoy the cafe, and then you'll just have like 2 apartments on the lot as well for whatever reason. But yeah, you could do that if you don't want to have Sims living here. That's totally possible. But I wanted to have it function as a residential rental. Now, I know that the cafe on a residential rental probably isn't the most useful thing to have. I mean, I don't know how many of you are going to actually be using that part of the build, but you could very easily just delete the cafe counter and put down, I don't know, like games tables or a ping pong table, because it is obviously quite a large space where the cafe table used to be. You could very easily put down like a ping pong table or a foosball table, or, you know, something that the, you know, Sims could enjoy and could be like a communal gathering space. That's something that's very easy to do. I obviously didn't do it for this, but you could very easily do that if you wanted to get some more gameplay out of that space. Or you could, and I was thinking about doing this maybe in like a separate video, and just doing like a short apartment build video, where I turned that cafe area into like a studio apartment. Like, it is very small, obviously, it's just a 1-floor open space. It's not super big, so I figured it could make a really great studio apartment. So maybe I could go in, and then in like a separate video I could go ahead and turn that into a little studio, and, you know, upload that as a video if that is something that you guys would be interested in seeing. Because yeah, I really like the idea of doing that, and, you know, then having like 3 apartments on this lot, or like 3 rentals on this lot, 2 of them obviously being quite a bit bigger and more like townhouses than apartments, and then that one being like a small little like studio apartment with, you know, roof access and all of that stuff. So yeah, that could be really fun. Let me know if that's something that you would like to see. But yeah, so that's the little cafe area. Now, the other 2 townhouses, the one that is attached to the cafe, that one is actually a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Now, I say 3-bedroom because there is technically 3 bedrooms. One of them, though, I did turn into a office, like a home office space. So it's technically 2 bedrooms, but it could be 3 if you wanted to convert the home office. And then the other one is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So both of them actually have bedrooms right on the 3rd floor that has roof access. Those bedrooms are kind of like, I don't want to say loft bedrooms, but they don't have a door. They just have a staircase leading up to them. They're not like enclosed on their own. So yeah, both of those are kind of, those spaces are the main bedrooms, I guess you would say, for like the parents. And then there's actually, both of them have the kids' rooms on the 1st floor. So the main living space is on the 2nd floor, like the middle floor, because they both have staircases that lead up to the entryways. And then on the 1st floor, right down below, there's obviously the garage. Both of them have the garage down below. They have a bathroom and then a kids room. And then on the 2nd floor, we have, you know, the kitchen and dining room and living room spaces, all of that stuff. The one that's bigger, that has 3 bedrooms, this one is the one that we're working on right now, but that one also has the office space on this, like, I guess you would say 2nd floor. But yeah, it's like on the 2nd floor with the living room, kitchen, all of that stuff. And that's kind of the way this worked out. Now, it's not ideal, but there's a bathroom on both the 3rd floor and the 1st floor. So like, you know, the bathrooms are fairly nicely spread out. There's none on the like main living floors, but, you know, there's bathrooms scattered around, and I really like the way this turned out. It's really fun to play in these as well. I've done a little bit of gameplay in both of these, and I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of nice living in, you know, kind of close quarters to other Sims, like living on the same lot, but you're not in the same household. I always loved the residential rentals for that. It's become one of my favorite features in The Sims 4, being able to build these and like play in them and have them all function as separate things. And I've been enjoying messing around with it and seeing what I can do, like, you know, having Sims rent out rooms, or, you know, having them like this, for example, where they have separate townhouses or, you know, duplexes or stuff like that, and then having apartments and, you know, in like a proper like apartment building. And I've just been really enjoying playing around with residential rentals, so I really want to build some more in the future as well. But yeah, so we're currently, like I said, working on the first one. This is the bigger, like I would say bigger townhouse. But this one is the one that has obviously the home office, but it's only for 2 sims. So I figured, I wanted to include the sim that I created for the Lovestruck singles tag way back when Lovestruck first came out. I created this sim called Ariana, and she's actually a author. So she's a bookworm. She's very like family oriented. Her daughter, who is actually a teenager, she's kind of like her whole world, and she's a single mom, so she's very like involved in her daughter's life, and she loves being a mom, she loves kids, all of that stuff. But she works as a freelance author, and I thought she would actually specialize in like kids books. So she would be writing like kids fantasy books, stuff like that, and she would actually be fairly well known. I don't think she would be like celebrity level well known, obviously, but she is fairly well known. She makes fairly decent money, all of that stuff. So obviously they do live in probably an older building. Obviously these buildings are probably a little bit on the older side, but she's been able to upkeep the building, like their apartment, fairly well. I think they would own this townhouse. It would be more like a condo rather than an apartment that you would rent. But yeah, so I figured they would own their like single townhouse, and the other family that lives here would own the other one, stuff like that. They wouldn't own the whole building, obviously. But yeah, so she lives here with her daughter. She is a single mom, and my story for the Lovestruck singles tag was that, she had a couple of very bad relationships in the past, like disastrous relationships. One of them probably, gave her her daughter. She probably got pregnant in one of her previous relationships, had her daughter. But the other ones they never worked out. And, recently her daughter is now obviously a teenager. And her name is actually Mara. And she's she's a cheerleader. She's very popular at school. She's, very outgoing, very very involved in school activities, clubs, cheerleading, all of that stuff. And she's recently kind of convinced her mom to try out online dating with Cupid's Corner, and, try and see what goes on Cupid's Corner. Basically she told her mom that she has nothing to lose by trying out, online dating. She had nothing to lose by trying out Cupid's Corner. Who knows? She might go on a few fun dates, or she might end up meeting the one, if that makes sense. So, she had nothing to lose by trying. So her daughter kind of convinced her to try that out. And that was my idea for the Lovestruck singles tag way back when. And a lot of you guys actually really liked that sim and liked her story, and you wanted to see like her incorporated somehow into the game. So I decided to put her in my save file. I gave her a daughter, and I also gave her a cat. So they do have a cat, which I will be putting some cat things around the townhouse at some point. I'm already putting down a cat tree. But yeah, they do have a cat, and it's just the two of them. I feel like the mom would be, like I said, she's not shy or like a loner or anything like that, but she is romantically reserved. And I feel like that is something that might be the result of like all of her failed past relationships. She's kind of gotten to the point where she just doesn't want to try anymore. And I mean, she wants to be in a relationship, but she just doesn't have the energy to like go out and date on her own. So that's why her daughter kind of like gave her a little bit of a push to try and, get out of her comfort zone a little bit. And I feel like she thinks that, whatever person she ends up finding will inevitably end badly again. She just kind of like, she feels like she's a little bit cursed when it comes to relationships. But I don't know, who knows? Maybe this time she'll end up finding someone that she actually really connects with, and she ends up staying with for longer than, I don't know, like a few months probably. So yeah, we'll have to see what ends up happening with them. And if you guys play with these sims or anything like that, let me know what you end up doing with them. Does she stay a single mom? Does she find someone somewhere? Or let me know if you end up playing with them. I will have them uploaded to the gallery as well. They are completely custom content free, as well as, obviously this build is completely CC free as well, if you want to go ahead and download it. But yeah, we've currently moved on to the downstairs where I've already done the garage. I did all of the bathrooms for both builds off camera just because it's very unnecessary. I feel like to see me doing bathrooms, they're all very small bathrooms as well, so there's not like, it's not super interesting to see me furnishing them. But we've moved on to the teenager's room, and she actually has access to the outside as well. So she has, obviously she could go through the garage to get outside, but she has a door that leads kind of like into like almost like a back alley type way. So she has her own entryway. I feel like she would be very like self-sufficient. She wouldn't, you know, her mom wouldn't set a curfew for her or, you know, anything like that. She would be she's very responsible, you know, despite being a cheerleader and being very outgoing. I feel like she would go to parties and stuff like that, but she's like, you know, she knows she can't stay out all night on a school night, for example. She knows that her grades matter and, you know, things like that. So her mom probably doesn't worry about her having like a exit out of the house where, you know, she could come and go as she pleases, basically. But I did use this bed from the LOVESTRUCK pack. That's actually one of the early purchase items. So I wanted to use that bed just because up until this point when I did this build, I hadn't used it yet. And I really wanted to play around with it. And I love that swatch of it. So I feel like it's very much a kind of teenager-y bed. I mean, it doesn't have a headboard or anything like that. But, you know, I feel like having a bed that is a little bit more messy does give me a very teenager vibe. So yeah, she has that bed. Her room is very like white and pink and yellow. There's some blues in there as well, which I absolutely love. And I wanted to make it feel cluttered and lived in, and like, you know, she spends quite a bit of time in there, but, you know, it's still like, it's her space basically. It's very much her space. There's a lot of posters and stuff like that, and the bedroom isn't all that big, so obviously it is going to feel a little bit cluttered because of that. But we've moved on to the mom's bedroom, and this one actually obviously has access to the outside balcony as well. Their balcony, or like patio or rooftop, I guess, isn't as big as the other townhouses one, but it still has, you know, enough space on it for like a lounge chair. I believe I put down a chess table as well as a grill and a little picnic table as well. Obviously I had to put down another cat tree in this room. I don't know if that cat tree will be functional or not. I felt like it looked good where it is, and if it isn't functional, then it's not the end of the world because there's another one downstairs, so it's not really necessary. But yeah, so there's another cat tree, there's obviously a dresser, there's like the mom's bed. I also put, you know, a lot of like clutter and things like that around, some plants, artwork, all of that stuff. And she also has an ensuite, obviously. The bathroom downstairs on the first floor isn't an ensuite to the teenager's bedroom, it's just off of the hallway. I also put laundry in that hallway space. I don't show that on camera, but I do put laundry in that area. But I'll show all of these things that I had to cut out or didn't show. I'll show all of them obviously at the end in the video tour, or not, yeah, the video tour that I do, the live tour that I do. So yeah, we're currently working on the little patio area, and then we're going to go ahead and I believe move on to the next townhouse. Now, the next townhouse is one that is a little bit more family oriented, if that makes sense. Obviously this one has a kid, it has a teenager in it, but it doesn't have any young kids. So the other one I thought would be fun to have, you know, it's a very small one. It's a little bit smaller than this one. But again, like I said, there's a bedroom on the third floor for the parents and then on the first floor for the kids. Now, I figured it would be fun to try and see if I could put a couple of kids in that room. So it's very small. I believe it's actually smaller than the teenager's room in this build, but it's actually going to be for twins. So they have twin boys called Gail and Asa, and they actually share that bedroom. They're going to be sharing a room. They do also have access to the outside, which, considering they're children, probably isn't the best thing realistically, because not only are they like 2 floors away from their parents, they're also children and they have access to the outside world, which probably isn't great realistically. But I figured, you know, once they age up to teenagers, it will probably be a little bit more useful. And also you could very easily go in and lock those doors so that the door isn't like usable by anyone. You could lock it for everyone, and then it wouldn't like, you know, it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, that's just kind of like how the layout worked out, and I like the idea of there being another exit. So maybe in the past, you know, that room was rented out separately, or, you know, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so we've currently started working on the next apartment or next townhouse. It is a little bit laid out a little bit differently. It has a little bit probably of like a bigger kitchen space than the other one. And that's just because I knew I wanted to have like at least a 4-seater dining table, because there would be 4 Sims living here. So yeah, apologies, my dog just started barking. He's in the house, so if you hear him, I'm sorry. But yeah, so we have the kitchen right as you walk in. And then through the archway, we have the living room. I'm also going to be putting a bookshelf and some toys and a desk in the living room space as well, because the bedrooms, like I said, are very small. So there's no space for desks or anything like that in the rooms themselves. And I wanted there to be at least one computer, obviously. But yeah, so we'll have, obviously in this house, we'll have 2 parents and then the 2 kids. And just because I figured, you know, the house wasn't cramped enough, I decided to give them 2 dogs as well. So they have 2 dogs called Goldie and Sausage, which is really funny, but I really like them. And I think, I don't know if you'll see them, you probably won't see them at the end in the tour, because I don't think I have them on the lot. But I will make sure to upload these Sims to the gallery as well, if you want to go ahead and download them. They're the Saldivar family, so yeah. Go ahead and download them if you want. They will probably, these 2 families will probably be the most recent Sims on my gallery, and then this will probably be the most recent build as well. I'll also have the gallery link in the description, as I always do, and then tray files for both the Sims as well as the build will be up for channel members, and in 3 weeks they will be going up on my Tumblr for everyone. But yeah, we're still working on the little living room space. Like I said, very cramped. There's a lot of toys. There's, you know, not a lot of open space, obviously, because it is so cramped, and there are a lot of things that I wanted to fit in. But I really love the way this build turned out, like the whole thing. I love how, like, you know, lived in it feels, and it feels like there's actually Sims living here, and you can kind of like see the personality of the Sims as well. And I don't know, I really enjoy this. But telling you a little bit more about this family. So the dad is actually in the salary person career, and then the mom is a freelance artist. So I feel like she would be very artsy, she would love color, and she would obviously be a digital artist, because that's the way the freelance artist career works in The Sims. They are digital artists if you're in that career. But yeah, so she is a digital artist. And so she works from home. And I feel like she and the woman from next door, Ariana, they would probably be quite good friends, just because they both work from home. I feel like they probably have been living here for quite a while. I feel like these Sims probably moved in here when, you know, maybe when their boys were like toddlers or infants or something. So they've been living here for years at this point. So they would know Ariana, they would know her daughter. And I feel like, you know, Ariana and the mom, whose name is Isidore, they would actually be really good friends, because, you know, like I said, they spend a lot of time at home working on their respective, like, careers, and, you know, seeing each other around, and, you know, stuff like that. And also Ariana obviously loves kids, so, you know, them having, like, the 2 kids down, like, next door is great. And I feel like they would also always be the first ones maybe to read her new books whenever she writes new books, or, you know, because like I said, I feel like she would write a lot of like kids fantasy stuff, so maybe they would be the first ones to read her new books and stuff like that. And I don't know, I like the way that sounded. So yeah, so those are the 2 parents, and then obviously we have the 2 kids whose bedroom we've started working on now. I wanted to have a lot of mismatched furniture as well, so the 2 beds don't match. I believe the bunk bed, I think, is from... it's not from Werewolves, it's from Horse Ranch. Yeah, so I used the Horse Ranch bed for the bunk bed, and then the other one is kind of like a cot, which I know isn't great because it looks like a camping cot, but I love the bedspread on that, and I really wish we got those bedspreads that bed has in some more like, you know, normal beds for kids, like beds that have bed frames and stuff like that. But yeah, I really like the way that looked, so I figured, you know, both of them would be very like, maybe they're into space or gaming or stuff like that, so they have, both of them have like kind of space-ish themed bedspreads. So yeah, I really like the way that looked. That cot, by the way, is from the, it's from the kids kit something or other. I don't know, what is it called? Like kids, it's not kids camping, it's something, not first, no, I don't know. It's something to do with kids, one of the kits basically. We got it ages ago, so I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. But yeah, so that's their bedroom. Their bedroom, like I said, very, very small. There's only space for the beds and a dresser, and that is basically it. But we're going to be putting some more toys out here in the hallway. We have a dollhouse, we have the toys for the dogs as well, another bookshelf. And then obviously we have the garage as well, where I put the laundry. So yeah, both of them have laundry. I wanted to do that especially because I like laundry in The Sims. I don't know, I feel like I might be in the minority there because I feel like a lot of people actually don't enjoy having laundry in builds and having to play with laundry. But I like it. I don't know why. Whenever I play the game, whenever I do gameplay, I love having my Sims actually do chores, like, you know, cleaning up the house, tending to the garden, doing laundry. I don't know why. I feel like it's just a very realistic thing that Sims would have to worry about. So yeah, both of the apartments have laundry. But that's basically the entire garage. It is, like I said, a little bit smaller than the other one. There's also a car inside of it. So yeah, it takes up quite a bit of space. But we've moved on to the parents' bedroom, which is on the 3rd floor. And again, this one is a little bit smaller. The bed is a little bit more squished. It does work, the whole thing. Sims can get everywhere and use everything. I did play test it. But this bedroom basically just has space for the bed, this dresser, kind of like trunk dresser that I use from Werewolves, a mirror, and that is it. They also have an ensuite, obviously. There is a bathroom downstairs already, like I said. But they do have another ensuite up here, and then obviously access to the roof. Their roof is a little bit bigger, so, you know, there's obviously a chest table, there's a grill, there's some seating. I put in a couple of lounge chairs as well, and then a couple of planter boxes too. But you could obviously swap out any of these things for things that your Sims would use. So if there are any skill building items that you feel like your Sims would probably enjoy more than, you know, maybe like chest table or the lounge chairs or whatever, then obviously feel free to swap them out, change up the furniture, change up the rooms or anything like that. I do have a lot of like skill building things on the lot as well. So there's obviously the basketball hoop. On the like cafe rooftop, I end up putting a games table. So there is one of those if your Sims want to like play games together or anything like that. Obviously both of the houses have a couple of their own planter boxes, but there's a couple more in the like communal space in the backyard. I think I end up putting a telescope in the backyard, or like that little yard space as well. So there's a telescope. I put a dumpster out back as well, mainly for realism purposes, because I feel like these Sims would like have a big dumpster that they put their trash in, or that, you know, the cafe puts their trash in or stuff like that. But yeah, there's a dumpster out back as well that Sims can get to for whatever reason, whether that's to dumpster dive or to dive for thrills or anything like that. You know, go right ahead. But we've started finally working on the little cafe. So there's just some seating. There's the cafe counter, obviously. I end up putting a jukebox in here as well. So there is space for Sims to kind of like gather and have parties, if that makes sense. On the rooftop, like I said, I do have a games table, but I also put in a darts board as well. So there are some things in this space that are kind of like communal things that Sims could do together if they wanted to gather with, you know, their neighbors or throw a party or, you know, something like that. And like I said, it would be very easy to just delete the cafe counter and put down a foosball table or a TV area or you know, a dance floor or a bar. That could also be really nice to have. So yeah, there are a couple of things that you could do to make this space, you know, more versatile or more suited to what you want it to be, or, you know, anything like that. I just went with the cafe because I felt like it. But yeah, that is almost going to be it for this build, you guys. Like I said, I will be going in at the end and giving you a like live tour of the whole thing, giving you a look at, you know, the floor plans and the bathrooms and other things that I might have cut out, and, you know, just to give you a little bit of a better look at the whole space, because I know sometimes it can be difficult to like keep up with what I'm working on when the video is sped up as it is. So yeah, I know a lot of people don't enjoy it when videos are sped up too much, but if I didn't speed this up, this is already over 30 minutes long, just the speed build portion. So yeah, if I didn't speed it up as much, it would have been way longer, and I can't talk for that long. I'm sorry, but I cannot talk for that long, and I don't think anyone wants to listen to me talk for that long. So yeah, just bear with me. Like I said, I have been doing these video tours at the end because I do speed builds, and I feel like some people don't enjoy speed builds because it either makes them motion sick, or they can't keep up with what's happening, or, you know, something like that. And that's why I've been doing these video tours at the end, to, you know, give people an option of, you know, whether they want to sit through the speed build and listen to me ramble, or whether they want to just jump ahead to the video tour at the end. But yeah, we will be going into that in just a moment. But if you enjoyed this video or this build, you know, do all of the fun YouTube things like, you know, hit subscribe if you're new, hit the like button, turn on notifications if you want to be notified of whenever I upload. And like I said, the build will be up on the gallery. The Sims that live here will be up on the gallery as well. Like I said, it is for my save, so I did create some Sims for it. But yeah, with all of that said, we are basically done with this build. We're going to be doing a few finishing touches outside, and then we're gonna go on ahead and jump on into the video tour. Okay, so here we are with the finished build in the game. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like on the gallery. It's called the Vista del Amor complex. It's a residential rental, 2 units, all of that stuff. And this is what the pictures look like. I hate the fact that this is considered the front of the lot. But yeah, so this is what it looks like on the gallery if you want to go ahead and download it. It does have a couple of lot traits. So all 2 of the apartments have these lot traits as well. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and download it, it is up there. It does use a bunch of different packs, but that is just to be expected because it is a build for my save file. But yeah, here we have the finished build. It's built on the Casita del Amor lot, in case you wanted to know where to place it. Originally, there's actually a starter home on this lot, if you wanted to know where it is. But that's where one of the like lounges are actually, and this is where that hotel is, or like motel is. So yeah, just as a sense of reference for where it is. But this is what it looks like from the outside. I absolutely love the way it looks. Like I said, this is obviously a little cafe space. We have a couple of, you know, little driveway bit. We have the basketball hoop. We have around this side access to the little back garden area, and then also access through this little alleyway. We have access to the dumpsters, and then over here is actually where the teenager's bedroom access is from the outside. There's a couple of chairs out here, maybe she and friends maybe like sitting out here or something. But yeah, so that's a little outside area. And let's go downstairs to the little backyard space. So yeah, we have a little backyard area, you know, some, you know, gardening space. I put a little food bowl there that I thought realistically might be like a water bowl for the dogs, but we don't have water bowls in the Sims, so there's a little food bowl in any case. We have a little picnic blanket, a telescope, a little swing set for the kids, some benches, you know, just, you know, things for the Sims to do together. But let's go into the cafe first. So you come up here, these little steps, we have a little entryway. You come in and we have obviously our cafe counter. Then there's a jukebox, there's some seating in here. All of the like cafe seating is mostly outside, obviously, but there's a little gathering space there. We have one of those new game things, like game, I don't know what would you call this, like a game. It's not a game, it's not like a board game, but like it's like a card game, I guess. That came with the Lovestruck pack. And then going upstairs, we have a little landing. And then we have some more things for Sims to do out here. We have a couple of seating like tables, but we also have a dartboard as well as a games table as well. That I love the way this looks. I love the way it looks with all of like the fairy lights and the awnings, and I don't know, I really like this build, okay? But then going into the first build that you saw me do was the one for the mom and her teenage daughter. But the entryway is you come up these stairs, we have a little entryway, they have a little planter, you go through the doors, and we have the living room space that I absolutely love. There's, you know, a bookshelf by the door, we have a little pet bed for the cat right by the door as well, but there's a little tiny dining area, and then they're kind of almost like galley style kitchen. But yeah, I love the way this looks, I love the way it turned out. I also did use these, what do you call them, like carefully cultured black backsplash things that came with the Lovestruck pack. I used them in both apartments, but I did it off camera just to give like a tiny little border to all of the kitchen counters, which I really like the way that looks. So yeah, we have that, we have our kitchen, we have our living room space, we have a absolutely tiny little hallway that has access to the third bedroom or home office in this case, where I figured the mom would do most of her writing. There's another bookshelf, some seating, we have a cat tree in here as well, just a little tiny little office space. And this is actually also where you have access to the staircase that leads you downstairs. So this is the downstairs hallway that just has the laundry machines in it, and then we have access to the teenager's bedroom. So yeah, this is the teen's bedroom, very pink, very yellow, very bright and colorful, but I love the way it turned out. And then there's a little tiny bathroom down here as well. There's just a little shower, sink, toilet, all of that stuff. Pretty functional, obviously. But yeah, so there's a tiny little bathroom, and then we also have the garage. Both of the garages have functional water heaters and electrical fuse boxes in them as well. You could replace these for the ones that are just decorative if you wanted to, but I have the functional ones. We also have a cheerleading mat in here because the teenager is in the cheer squad in my save file, so she needs somewhere to practice. But there's also a yoga mat, there's a meditation stool. I don't know why there was supposed to be a shelf over here that disappeared for some weird reason, I don't know, but there was supposed to be a shelf there. But yeah, we have some more planter boxes. We also have a candle making station. I figured the mom maybe in her free time tries making candles or something. And then we also have the cat litter box down here as well. But going back upstairs and through the living room, up this staircase, we have the main bedroom for the mom. So in the speed build, this will have been a doorway, like a regular door, but I decided to replace it with an archway. Just because I feel like, I don't know, I don't know, I like the way it looked a little bit more. I don't know why, but I liked having these like beaded curtains around an archway that leads you into the bathroom. Because this would be just her bathroom. I feel like it wouldn't be one that guests would use. So, I don't know, it made sense to me. So, yeah, we have her bedroom up here. And then we have her bathroom as well that I did off camera. Everything that you would expect to find in a bathroom, basically. And then this is where you have access to the outside balcony area as well. So we have some, you know, a little picnic table, a grill. We have, you know, a chess table and a little lounge chair. And that's basically it for this balcony. But going back down to the other townhouse, you go up the stairs, obviously, entryway. And you walk straight into the kitchen area. So they have a little dining table, a activity board, because they do have kids. So we have that. We have their little kitchen space that I love, coffee maker, all of that stuff. The food bowls for the dogs, because they do have 2 dogs, so they do have some food bowls for them. And then you go through the archway into the very cramped living room space. But yeah, there's a lot of seating. There's obviously TV. They have a desk over here with a computer, some more toys for the kids, you know, books, bookcase, all of that stuff. But yeah, so going through the kitchen though, you go through the kitchen, down the stairs into the first floor, I guess. So this is the hallway that I have some more toys in for the kids and for the dogs. But they also have a bathroom down here with a shower, toilet, sink, all of that stuff. And then we have the bedroom for the twins. So yeah, also they do have access outside, but like I said, just lock the door because they're kids, and when they're teenagers it will be a lot more useful to have. But yeah, so they do share a bedroom. I did playtest this bed. You know, these things being underneath over there on that side doesn't make a difference for the upstairs bunk bed. It still works perfectly fine. I did playtest that. But yeah, so they do have some bunk beds and just a dresser, some toys, but most of their toys are like scattered throughout the rest of the house. But yeah, so that's why they have toys obviously in the hallway and in the living room. But yeah, so that's the kids' bedroom, and then they do have a little garage space as well. Obviously, heater, fuse box, they have a little punching bag over in the corner, and then their laundry is in here as well. But yeah, so that's their little first floor. And then going back upstairs through the living room, upstairs into the main bedroom for the parents. A little bit more cramped than the other one. But yeah, they have everything they need and everything works. So bed, dresser, all of that stuff. And then they do also have a full bathroom up here as well. That has a shower tub and all of that stuff. And then they do have a little bit of a bigger, you know, rooftop space. So they do have another chess table, some more lounge chairs, picnic table, grill, and a couple of planters and plants and stuff like that. Just decorative things. But yeah, that is basically this entire build, you guys. So let me give you a quick little floor plan look. So this is what it looks like from the third floor, then the second floor, and then the first floor as well, in case you wanted to have a reference for where everything is. But yeah, that is basically it for this build, you guys. Like I mentioned in the video, the build is up on the gallery. The Sims that I created to live here for my save file will also be up on the gallery. If you want to go ahead and download them and play with them, then obviously feel free to do so. But I hope you enjoyed this. You know, if you did, do all of the fun YouTube things. Give the video a like, hit subscribe if you're new, and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. I hope you're all having a great day and that you have a great weekend. And I want to say obviously a huge thank you to my channel members for all of your continued support. All of your support really does mean the world to me, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. I also have a EA creator code that I have mentioned a few times, but if you purchase any Sims 4 pack on the EA app, then you can use my code at checkout. It is on the screen, and it will have been on the screen a couple of times throughout the video as well. It's just Chrissie. But if you use my code at checkout, then I actually receive a small percentage of the sale. So that helps directly support me and the channel and allows me to continue creating videos for you guys. But yeah, with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this, like I said, and I hope you're all having a great day and week and weekend that you are looking forward to. And I will talk to you all in my very next video. Bye, everyone.
Wow.